in person, in custody, and pro se. Mr. Likes, in this case, the state has charged and alleges that in Greenwood County, Kansas, on November 9th, 2024, you were driving while your license was suspended, and that this is a third or subsequent conviction, or would be a third if you were to be convicted. As such, this is a Class A non-person misdemeanor. Penalties are anywhere from 30 days to 1 year. And 17.5, that is $1,750. Oh, I'm sorry, strike that. Strike that. I was giving you the wrong penalties. As a third, this is a mandatory 90 days up to 1 year in jail, although probation may be an option. We'll talk about that shortly. And the fine has to be up to $2,500. Now, because it is a third, you may have to actually serve the minimum 90 days and pay a minimum $1,500, depending on the reason your license was suspended. But you'll have to serve at least 5 days, but possibly at least 90. And then on count 2, you're accused of operating a motor vehicle without the required ignition interlock device required following a DUI. This is an A non-person misdemeanor. The penalties include up to 1 year in the county jail and a fine up to $2,500. In count 3, the state alleges that you were operating a vehicle without the required registration or with an expired tag. This is an unclassified misdemeanor. The penalties could be up to $2,500 in fines, and you could have a jail sentence of 30 days up to 6 months. Count 4, the state alleges that you were transporting an open container of alcohol, and that is a misdemeanor. The fine can be no more than $200. The sentence in jail could be no more than 6 months or both. And upon a second conviction for transporting an open container, the court is ordered and required by the state of Kansas to suspend your license for 1 year, and the court shall demand, if you're convicted, surrender of your actual license to the court. In count 5, it is alleged that you were driving without proof of liability insurance. This is, if it's a first conviction and you're convicted, would be a B misdemeanor. The penalty has to be a fine of at least $300 up to $1,000. The jail sentence has to be at least 6 months. At this time, you are charged as a first-time offender without liability insurance, but on a second, the fine would go up to $800 minimum to $2,500 maximum. The sentence would go up to 1 year possible in the county jail. These are alleged to have happened November 9th, 2024, and I remember when you were here last week, I think a week ago today, we talked about bond. I believe your bond, if I'm remembering right, wasn't that, Ms. Gillette, about $75,000 or something like that?
Judge, he had on his other bond was $17,500 with GPS and Scram.
All right, $17,500 GPS and Scram. Ms. Gillette, do you know if he was allegedly wearing the GPS and Scram when he encountered law enforcement on November 9th?
Yep.
Okay.
Still got them on, Your Honor.
I'm sorry?
I still got them on, Your Honor.
Oh, okay. And then you were going to go down to Elk County and take care of some business there, which apparently you did, because I think they had a no bond hold or something of that sort. So you must have made bond down there. So here we are. Miss Gillette, any comments about bond on this case?
Judge, on this case, I don't know what to set his bond. I had filed a motion to revoke his bond on his other case. I mean, we gave him GPS and scram. He was not to have alcohol. He was caught with alcohol behind the wheel of a vehicle while suspended the day after he got out of jail. Like, I'm at a point of asking for no bond on the old case. This case, I would like, I mean, it's a traffic case. I hate to ask for a huge bond on a traffic case, but at some point, Mr. Likes has to understand that he's a danger to the other population.
Well, and I think
Five pending cases in 3 counties.
I have since hired a driver.
all right, well, Mr. Likes, I think we're scheduled to see each other in Butler County tomorrow. The charge, if I recall correctly, driving after being declared an habitual violator with a prior conviction for the same. Ms. Gillette, is that one of them you're counting in your number?
It is one of them we're counting, well, we're not counting the Butler case because it's the prior. He has a prior on his record.
Oh, that habitual violator one that's pending is prior to these other ones?
So in my motion, that's in the other case to take up is the case in Butler County 24 TR 2231 happened May 27th, 2024. The Elk County case 2024 TR 112 was July 8th of 2024. The case Elk County 2024 TR 140 happened October 17th, 2024. Then the first Greenwood County case 24 CR 194, which I filed the motion in, is October 30th of 24, 13 days later after the Elk County case. And then 10 days later, he got this case a couple nights ago. So on Saturday. So he has 3 cases pending in less than 30 days.
You said no bond hold? Is that what?
I was going to ask for a no bond in the case. That's the 194 case. In this case, I was going to ask for $15,000, and I hate to put a bond like that on this matter, but he just keeps going out and driving with alcohol in his possession and drinking it. And that is putting everyone else at risk on the road. I don't know what else to do to get through Mr. Likes. We put him on scram, told him no alcohol, and he picks up a case with alcohol in the car, driving himself. I've notified his attorneys of where he's at.
Who is his attorney?
He has Mr. House and Elk.
Okay, he has Mr. House and Elk. I do remember that. Mr. Likes, you were going to talk to Mr. Jensen or Marianne Shirley. Have you secured either of them for your Greenwood County cases?
Miss Shirley has a conflict because she was
does
the judge at the time of one of his convictions. And then I don't know if Mr. Jensen's willing to take it or not, but I tried to call his office again today.
Well, if I recall, Mr. Jensen did represent you in your city case quite some time ago, and I understand you probably have some professional dealing.
Robin told me that Gail's gonna be out all week.
Okay. Well, Mr. Likes, you are putting us in a spot where we have to be
Yes,
concerned.
I understand that, ma'am, and I don't think there's any need of arguing about whether it's habitual or not. I'm, there's no argument there.
You need to talk to an attorney. And if you cannot afford one at this time because of your immediate circumstances, you can apply.
I can afford one, Your Honor.
Well, like I said, based on your immediate circumstances. You're in jail. But okay, so you're going to hire an attorney in both these cases, the Greenwood County. Missy, when's our next court date? One of them is one of those a felony DUI, isn't it?
Yes.
The other two or the other case, sorry, is set December 6th at 1:30. So we could just set
December
this-
6th at 1:30.
Yes.
Well, how about if we put this one on there with the other one? That way you only have to keep track of one court date, December 6th at 1:30. And your attorney only has to be at one court date for now. So that brings us back to the issue of bond.
I will not go out of the house.
Where do you live? Which county are you in?
Hell,
You're in Elk? Okay.
I live in the country and I was coming up here to see a lady I met the other day and I didn't quite get here.
Okay.
And
So are you single now or are you still married?
no, ma'am, that divorce was final on January the 20th of 2020.
Okay,
Judge Ricky signed it,
okay,
as did I. Against,
okay. So that's been 4 years ago.
yes, ma'am, soon be 5.
Okay, and are you still in the ranching business or?
Yes, ma'am. Although I have no cattle right now, I had a major back surgery on September the 13th, and I sold the last of the cattle I had. I've got a few at Debbie's house, but no numbers. I sold the last 40 I had at over at Fredonia prior to this back surgery because I knew I was going to be incapacitated for a while. And I am. I think I'm probably looking at another. It's been 2 months on the 13th, and I think I'm probably looking at another 6 months getting back to whatever normal is.
So are you under any kind of medical restrictions, medical advice and care at this time?
Well, yeah, I'm not supposed to do anything too physical, and I wear this brace to hold me
Okay.
together. And as far as my back, I had 3 vertebrae fused together is the way it was told to me. So I had to keep it pretty straight and square.
Deputy, has his physical condition been an issue in custody? Is she still with you there, the deputy?
No, Your Honor, not that I can tell.
Do you have any pending doctor appointments, anything like that, Mr. Likes?
Well, yeah, I was missed. My surgeon I had 2 6 weeks surgery inspections, and I missed first one on Thursday and then another one on Tuesday a couple weeks ago. So I guess I need a scheduler. My scheduler fired me.
Well, maybe your driver could be your scheduler too.
She's not interested in being my driver.
Okay.
I mean, Debbie's not. My
Debbie was your scheduler?
new driver might be able to do that. Yes, ma'am.
Who is your new driver?
A lady from here in Eureka,
And the name?
Amy Hamilton.
Okay, that one I don't know, which is a good thing in this business.
Yes, I'm sure you're
Well,
Your Honor.
Here's the problem, Mr. Likes. You've got this physical condition that maybe being in jail would be good for it, because maybe they could just let you lie around and relax and not be tempted to get out there and get too active.
I would rather lie around elsewhere if at all
I'm sure
possible.
you would. I'm sure you would. They could keep you off the alcohol or keep it out of your vehicles.
I can keep myself off of it.
Well, but why?
From now on, I
Why
know,
didn't you? Let's not
understand.
get into the merits of any of these cases yet, but you know, we were just here Tuesday and you made me certain
ma'am.
assurances, and then here you are back again a week later. And then I see that you're on my docket for tomorrow, Butler, and I'm like,
I will never, ever drive again.
I don't know. What, when is your, did you tell me who your attorney's gonna be in these new cases? Is it Jensen?
Well, I don't know. I talked, Gail's out. I was gonna
Okay.
call Steve Ariano. I've come across his card the other day.
Yeah.
Gail,
Well, I'm going to, I feel like I need to set your bond significantly high to protect you from yourself and protect the community from you. But I hate to just see you give it to a bondsman and give 10% to a bondsman that won't come back to you anyway. But I got to do something to
I understand.
assure the community that you're going to be safe and sound. So what I'm going to do is, because I did just set your bond and you're back here again, in this case, I'm going to order a no bond hold, and you contact your attorney as soon as possible. And then if that attorney, if you get your attorney secured, the attorney can bring you back here and we can revisit your bond.
Judge, what are you putting on the new case and the old case?
The new case is no bond. Now, I don't have the case from last week on here yet. You said you filed a motion to revoke?
I did file a motion to revoke his bond for a no bond hold on it.
You want me to put it on the docket, Judge? I can do
Okay, what's the case number again?
24 CR 194.
CR 194. All right. So we'll also be on the record in 2024 CR 194, also captioned State of Kansas versus George Allen Likes. Mr. Likes, before I revoke that bond, you do have the right to an attorney, even though I can take judicial notice that you were given certain bond conditions and then 194, and then here we are again with new charges, but they are just charges at this point, not convictions. So when can we set, Missy, why don't you give me a date where we can take up the bond motion and give him the right to an attorney, so that if he wants to hire an attorney for that, he can do that, or if he needs to apply, we can do that too. But set him, what's the soonest you could set these together? You said December 6th is pending, but do you have anything sooner than that on the bond issue?
We could do November 22nd at 1:30, put it on the PHC docket then.
Okay, November 22nd, that's
A week from Friday.
okay, a week from Friday. Okay, so Mr. Likes, you've got a motion pending now to revoke your bond in that case that we saw you on last week. We're going to take up that bond hearing November 22nd, a week from Friday at 1:30. And I'll go ahead and set this case with that. Instead of that 12/6, I'm going to set it at 1:30 a week from Friday. This is Tuesday. It'll be a week from this Friday.
Do I get out of jail in the meantime, Your Honor?
No, not in the meantime. I'm gonna do a no bond hold. Yeah, I know it, but you kind of put me in a spot where I gotta do it.
I'm sure I have. I'm sure I have.
We gotta do it.
I know I have.
But
apologize.
you track down your attorney, and if you find that because you're in custody right now and you're unable to hire an attorney and you need to apply, you're certainly welcome to do that. The jailer can
I'm-
get you a form.
I'm not able to make phone calls at will from here, Your Honor.
Well, deputy, can you let him contact an attorney, at least have you had any luck getting a hold of Mr. House? Last week you were afraid that Mr. House wasn't available.
I was on Zoom with Mr. House right here. It was in Elk County, and he had written me a letter, and he had my phone number wrong. Instead of,
Okay,
I saved the letter. I've got it at home.
all right.
So that's why we didn't make contact. I guess.
Okay, so at least you have your attorney, Mr. House. Have you talked to him about maybe taking these two cases?
Well, I don't know. I suppose Miss Gillette would know more about if he has the energy to do that. But
Oh, okay, yeah, he's been sick too, hasn't he? Did you tell me that, Miss Gillette?
He had been out a little bit, but I think he's back. I spoke with him
You're
earlier
back to
today, and I let him know Mr. Lex was in the Greenwood County Jail
Okay,
and where to find him. And
Okay.
he was going to try to get a hold of him today.
all right. Well, deputy, there's surely some way they can contact an attorney while sitting in jail.
Yes, Your Honor, there is.
I'd like to get out, Your Honor. I
I know you
won't do
would.
anything but walk and carry this stick.